in the very beginning, and obviously you're no stranger to that AP Varus, given that you played it so much in the mid lane once upon a time. But that's not where we're here today. You're here joining me on the cast, getting ready to witness yet the most remarkable mid lane matchup. It is Azir versus Orianna.
Oh, and this is very dangerous for Ori, right? She wants to keep her ball up for prior level 1, but she can get hooked here, and trading flashes for Draku would be a really good idea onto Orianna, so I'd expect them to go for it. If they want to give it a go, because there's really no way to punish it. You're playing against Milio Aphelios, right? No CC in the early game. He goes for Shinky.
Flash for flash, though. You're happy about that one, given the fact that Shinky will not have the Hex Flash available, whilst Draku certainly will. So bot lane prio becomes even easy now for Antic to try and acquire, hanging in those bushes and zoning them back, and really making sure that Katsuri has to play fairly defensive, because the combo will be quite simple for the bot lane here for Antic. A hook into a knock-up, trap, root, and a bucket load of Jhin damage after.
Yep, and if that doesn't happen till about 3 minutes skimmy, then the rel will be there as well, and it'll be as simple as walking behind Emilio and just running him down from all angles. So Lisa going to have to do some smart pathing, be bot lane in time to counter this dive that's undoubtedly coming from Swiper.
So he will be. He's looking a little bit more comfortable on the role now, as he's had a bit of time to try and figure things out, making the role swap from top lane after years and years and multiple trophies acquired in the process. He mentioned in one of those interviews it certainly helped making a transition from a player to becoming a coach, and obviously spending some time overseas in the LCS. But to come back here and battle some of the best has really proved that, no, the hands are still working there, mate, and that's all that matters as you get older.
Yeah, absolutely. Swiper's looked great. I don't think anybody knew what to expect when we saw that announcement. We saw that Swiper was going to be stepping in the place of Nine God, a young mechanical player, but he's delivered on all fronts, really. He's been exactly the jungler that Antic have needed. He's been crucial in some of their wins, if you think back to the massive Cataclysm game from him. Some of these engages from Rel have been looking really, really good. And it feels like the only thing that has exploited Swiper so far was Why Not on brand. So I think the way that you exploit Swiper is you got to pick these carry champs. You got to pick these carry farming champs. Katsuri.
He's found the hook, and the ghost is already being burnt. Summoner Hill too. And that bot lane now is looking fairly crippled. All that's left is Katsuri's flash. Otherwise, they are out of juice, and that is not the start you're after, but that is the pressure that a Blitzcrank is designed to achieve.
Yeah, and it's a little bit shocking. Swiper's party, I guess he's trying to cover Zoranus as the Varus top. He feels a little bit exposed, but yeah, just imagine Swiper's bot lane here. There's just so much pressure mounted on this double sums gone from Shinky and Katsuri, and such a low health bar for the Aphelios. King could just do whatever he likes, but chooses to stick around topside, continue his clear. Very selfish from Swiper, but it's working out so far.
So far, so good. And you can see for Zoranus as well on this very annoying Varus top lane. He's certainly getting his way with the lane, making sure that Rev's already got to go back to base at 3 minutes in, cancelling the recall for the second time. And look, I wouldn't put it past him doing it one more time. So the wave's about to crash. He might try to sneak in for a piercing arrow. There it is. This champion, what a pest.
Okay, honestly, he is now, so it's totally fine that he's cancelled the recalls. But Lisa, walking behind, sneaking behind them, but you've got a Milio, mate. It doesn't provide anything for this gank.
No, it really doesn't. Not too often you see a Nocturne gank pre-level 6. Obviously, you need Paranoia online as quickly as you can. As they get aggressive, Katsuri steps up. Antic smell something a little bit suspicious, and then the hook goes out. And they continue to make sure that Katsuri will have no mana, no HP. Lisa then jumping on in, trying to smite, steal away some camps to keep tempo advantage. And both junglers really hovering all lanes because there's volatility everywhere to be found. The hook is on. It's an easy one for him to land because there's no flash to safety. But no root from King. And then Direwolves flip it around again. Lisa ping-pongs down to bot lane 2. Swipe is here to shadow him. And at this point, you're really wondering who does get first blood.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with this composition from Direwolves, right? The jungler has no CC apart from his fear, right, which takes a while to kick in. The Milio has no way to set up the gank, so all he can really do is hover and look threatening, allow them to push the wave and get a good reset off, but that's probably the best case scenario. Oh, that was so close. Probably the best case scenario, Skimmy, there for Direwolves, just getting the reset off with no flash. That's going to be back up when they get back to the lane, so that's the scariest part of the game avoided.
It certainly is a bit of a scary part, and we've got to obviously talk about this top lane as well, because it's fairly scary still for River. He's got to be fairly respectful in this one, consider a fair bit of CS in the process. As you can see, he's already done down half. Double is where Zoranus finds himself right now. as he opts for double combat summoners, right? No TP available for him. He's all about making sure that he's strong enough to try and fight this fight, but at the same time, would be very concerned about any gank presented by Lisa once level 6 comes on.
Yeah, I think it's okay for River. Like, River just needs to not die, right? He needs to not die and try and not drop plates, which he's kind of achieved so far. And then once the knockdown hits 6, it's a lot more difficult for Zornis to play here because, like we mentioned in the pre-show, he does build the balk. They're fighting. River looking for a solo kill.
No, the fight started. Zornis has completely missed his ultimate, so out goes the all-out mode. Instant flash and Ghost being burnt. The dash is dead! Oh, he's just missed that final Q. And they both are so lucky to be alive.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying, Skimmy. It doesn't matter if you're down 20 CS. If Cassante gets on top of you, he just does Cassante things. Even in a counter matchup, and Zornis is going to be greeting for this wave with this health plant, knowing that Lisa's on the dragon. So safe and sound, but definitely things looking up in the top lane because that was the weak side of the map, right? So many resources committed bot side for Direwolves, and somehow River almost finds a solo kill.
Yeah, if that had happened, then certainly you would be feeling pretty inspired about the ability to try and shut down this Varus and put them out of the game very, very quickly. Side laning would then be a bit of a misery for the side of Antic then. They wouldn't really have too many threats to try and contest people. But as it stands, a CS lead to be found all over the show here as they're up by 700 gold, only 7 minutes in.
Yeah, that was a little bit scary because no sums for Zornis there. Maybe if River was a little bit closer, he'd have the balls to go for that, but just out of range. And let's have a look at the mid lane, Skimmy. Look at Emphas in the same matchup, mirrored matchup from last game. Exactly the same champions, but he's playing so much better, keeping up in farm. Feels like he's had control of this lane when we panned down to the 2 Raptor takes from Lisa. Oriana's always pushing this Azir in, so he must have taken something away, maybe reviewed the VOD from his POV, and he's playing much, much better.
Yeah, and the big difference in my mind is the fact that we've not had Swiper spend a bit of time looking to try and navigate his way into the mid lane to make matters pretty miserable for him. Although it did swing on its own once Roma had level 6 online, was able to try and scoop him under the tower on numerous occasions. So with that in mind, let's see if that were to occur as a result now. You can see in the bot lane still, Dragcoot, every single chance he gets. The only thing that's really going to stop him from doing it is his mana pool.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the topic of Swiper, he's been very quiet this game. Hasn't really achieved anything on Rel jungle, and you'd be favoring Lisa in the stalemate, right? He's playing a fast-clearing jungler. He's playing the Nocturne. His champion doesn't really offer anything until level 6, and Rel certainly does. So he's able to navigate that tool-less part of the game very well, and now it's kind of the Nocturne show. We'll see where he decides to go with the ultimate.
That is the big question, right? That first ultimate has to find success, or the opposition know exactly what you're up to, and you sort of lose that killer pact, that sort of instinctual punch, as River is doing that right now onto Zornis' head, who's got no ultimate, has nothing available in the tank to try and run away from this one, and will just simply concede first blood. Yeah,
and look, I gotta say, I think maybe Zornis just hasn't played enough Varus. Like, that's just a little bit of lack of champion mastery, right? Like, lack of spacing there, just letting the Cassante get on top of you. And of course, if you're gonna get knocked back by the Q3 there, it's always gonna be the combo into the all-out, I will not yield, and you're just dead. So, yeah, this carry matchup not working out in the top lane, and it's worrying signs for Antic.
It certainly is a worrying sign so early on. Obviously, you're still feeling pretty inspired about this mid lane, but the mid jungle is the only remaining constant. It's the bot lane that have flipped themselves up into a different position as well. And never too concerned about a Blitzcrank. Obviously, if you're missing every single hook, it feels a little bit bad, but it only takes one. And if that comes in the 25th minute when you're down 10k gold, you get the hook into a shutdown, suddenly 1,000 gold into your pocket, you start to believe again. And as it stands, he's got those mobility boots, so he's going to be a hard one to shut down now. We'll be keen to see where he decides to try and spend the majority of his time ganking.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if he goes for any roams mid. Emphas still has the flash available, but just so important to force that out from the Oriana so that as soon as Azir has his ultimate available, it's just a free kill. We've seen no pressure mid lane really on Emphas, unlike the game before. So Rayon is still getting his resources, still getting his farm. Going to be a menace in the late game, but not quite the godlike performance that we've seen before.
Certainly not this early on into the game as we just crest over to the 10-minute mark. Void Grubs went the way of Antic so far, but the first Dragon went in favour of Direwolf, so opposites attract, the sides do flip around. River though getting aggressive once again, flipping back Zoranus, who now has that Ghost up and available, but holds his own, doesn't feel under enough pressure to need to warrant its use. And Flash will be up in the next 20 seconds too.
Yeah, and he's just... I'll have a look bot lane. Katsuri playing a little bit aggressive, but yeah, Zoranus needs to take advantage of this low health bar on K'Sante. He can't let him recall here. He needs to look for the solo kill. A little bit afraid of the Nocturne Paranoia, maybe. But this is really as good as it gets for the Varus, because once K'Sante takes his recall, gets back all his HP, spends his money, it's going to be the ball's going to be in his court again.
It certainly is. There's ample vision topside though to protect Zoranus, and also the vision provided there by Draku, who actually steals away the Scuttler there. So it's a double win really for Zoranus, who now once again finds himself in a bit of trouble as the immunity comes on through. Drag him back one more time, shove him through the wall, and then bait him into Swipe, who said, I was always there to protect you, to flash away to safety. The final attack! But he dies in the process. And you'd absolutely be spewing to die in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely, Skivvy. It's just the lack of Varus games. Like, he did everything well, like, macro-wise, right? Like, he baited towards his jungler. You know, he went in at the right time, but just oversteps, underestimates how much damage the K'Sante Q auto does, and it does a lot, Skimmy, and that might mean that the Dragon's going in the favor of Direwolves.
So it seems to be the case. Antic obviously fully aware of this one with the vision reveal, and Draku's then hunting for a hook. Not going to hit anything at this stage with the Rocket Punch ready. He is just going to get run on down. TP in from River as the lights go out. Magnet Storm tries to do as much as it can, but it's not going to be there. And Swiper is going to get run down too. Double kill found by Katsuri, who finally finds a bit of reprieve in this lane after all that aggression on Lisa. It took until level 8 to hit that ultimate. We had to wait a while, much like their matches, but it's paid off beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, that's just... what do you say there, Skimmy? Rel has no ults, no flash, and they're trying to contest the Dragon, right? Like, you just have to accept that as soon as you go for that top play, yes, it didn't work out, but you've committed your resources. There's really nothing. You're running dry on ultis. You have no TP on Varus. There's really no fight here. Even if that hook lands, what does that change, really, Skimmy? Does Shinky get one shot? Even if he does, the rest of his champions are standing still, and it's just a numbers game. There's no ults. It's a 4v5. I mean, it's a 3v5 because Ryoma didn't even bother coming down. He assessed it as a lost cause beforehand, and just 3 kills go in the favor of Direwolves, and most importantly, Skimmy, the Dragon stacking.
That's incredibly true in that they've got themselves a pretty sizable lead now to play towards, but it's ironic really how the sides have flipped and the teams have sort of adhered to that being their mainstay, right? 6 stacks here for Antic, and you'd love to have seen this Varus be a little bit stronger so it can not only bully the K'Sante out of the lane, but it can then single-handedly take down that tower already, force a very early rotation and maybe planting Ryoma up into the top lane and having the Varus hold his own in mid instead. But that is not the outcome right now. All it took was Draku to miss a hook, and Direwolves said, well, fight's on, they've got nothing.
Absolutely, yeah, just great great decision-making from Direwolves, you know, pulling the trigger, identifying the numbers advantage, and let's look at the shining light for Antic. I guess it's the fact that Azir will be able to kill K'Sante quite easily because he has to stack armor against this Varus, and if they do match the Azir into the K'Sante, he will melt until later on in the game where he gets a magic resist item. So they could be looking for that. Still trying to play around this Varus, playing around this lane, but at this point, this pick just hasn't done enough, right? It's kind of lost its strength, and in a 2v2, you'd be favoring Lisa and River.
Certainly would at this stage, as Lisa still hovering the top side, waiting for that ultimate to come in, but an instant TP reaction from Antic. They knew that play was about to come on through. Zoranus, understandably, is the first target, but Ryoma making that classical TP play. Streamer shuffling just for good measure. There's the ultimate to knock him back, and there's the double kill to make sure that that summoner usage finds maximum effect.
Okay, interesting angle from Ryoma, but he gets the job done. That's what we said. Beforehand, we said Ryoma is just everywhere at the same time. He picks up 2 kills outside of his lane, even when it feels like he's not having the best laning phase. He's going even into a play he's probably expecting to beat. He still finds a way to get a lead somewhere else on the map.
Really nice knockback there from Shinky as well, as Draku was speeding on through there with those mobility boots. Really important to shut that one down. But we'll run it back on this replay topside as it's Direwolves that want to get aggressive.
Yeah, you can see that River goes in here, but Lisa was actually walking away. That's why they lost so much health before the Ryoma TP comes out. You see that last piercing arrow from Zoranus doing almost half health towards River. Perhaps if Lisa was on the same page with River there and they conserved their HP a little bit more coordinated, maybe they could have turned this 2v2 around as well. Not to be though. Shinky in a little bit of trouble, but should be okay. And oh, somehow Katsuri died.
That is a good question. We'd have to get a replay to see what's gone on there. That's not a good look. What I will say, though, is as much as we are complimenting Enfys for a much more stable early game, given the fact that he wasn't under as many jungle ganks, he's going to feel pretty rough about the fact that, once again, Rhymer has gone for that roam, returns to lane now with 2 kills, and he's got that item complete. Let's see how it all transpired here in bot.
Wow, no flash for Draco, just lands the hook. Oh, okay, so Katsuri was looking for a kill angle. Wasn't paying attention to the creeps. Yeah, and that's a big mistake to make, right? Because we saw that they're playing double range and they're kind of on the enemy tower. Like, this is where you want to be as the Milia Aphelios, and the only way you can lose that is if you get hooked. As long as you don't get hooked, you just passively get that tower after a couple of waves. You're growing your lead, so a bit unfortunate, but definitely just individual brilliance from Dragku. You have to give him there. You know, he cast the hook before the creep even died, right? To reduce how much time Katsuri had to react, to interpret it. So good play overall. We see both teams fighting for mid-prior. Even Ryoma coming over to secure this mid-prior very, very early. Emphasis still in base, so Direwolf's not going to have control over this wave, and even the Rift Herald coming out from Swiper.
Yeah, pretty guaranteeing that this third dragon is going to be denied away from Direwolves. No chance for them to try and acquire themselves that soul point. The TP right in the tower. A little bit of a confusion there as River does, in fact, manage to get there before it gets cancelled. Okay. But all that time committed to the mid lane means that they're going to be second to deploy to the dragon. And a case of who face checks this one, because River is looking to try and tank on the entire team by himself. It's a bait to try and force up the shockwave package. In goes Least with the paranoia, but not enough for the one shot. The curtains come across, and then King looks to try and snipe them all down low. Only Enfys in his sights right now. It's just not enough to get lead. Well, River, with literally 2 HP, decides to go all out for questionable reasons, you'd have to say, because he's spoon-fed a kill across to Antic now to make it a 4v4. Flash hook! But a flash response from Shinky prevents him from dying down too. And the dragon held at 50%. Antic say it's not worth fighting for.
Yeah, okay. I think both teams are okay with what happened there. There's a lot of flashes. Burnt there, Skimmy. We've got the Milio and the Aphelios both having no flash, which I think Dragco is very happy with. They do lose the dragon. It is a Cloud Soul, not the end of the world. We'll see how this play transpires. This is pretty crazy to me, Skimmy. River's just walking into 5 people blind. There's no blue trinket. Somebody needs the blue trinket this bush, so he knows that there's 5 people there. I think if he saw that beforehand, maybe he wouldn't have gone in. And we see that Orianna Shockwave combo with a Nocturne, undodgeable. They take down Zoranus. River's kind of out of the fight, but because he escapes on such low HP, Ryoma has to use all of his big cooldowns to actually kill the Cassante. And the fight's over for Antic. They got no tools left.
Yeah, they've run through everything they have available to them, and they realize it's just not worth it anymore, especially when you don't have the double AD carry set up. Even despite Zoranus being 1 and 4, still going to be a bit of a menace, still going to be a major threat, and that ultimate will always be valuable, no matter what your KDA is looking like. But either way, it's 18.5 minutes into this one, and again the Nocturne looks to try and target his top lane and make sure that, look, if you play this greedy champion, you won't win lane. Meanwhile, cross-map plays occur. If you can gank, we can gank too.
What is he doing there, Skimmy? Why is he in that tri-bush? Why is he not hugging his tower and, you know, just trying to thin the wave or maybe XP the minions? He should be expecting that to happen when his team is making a play on the opposite side. But, yeah, that's the thing with Varus top, right? Once you start side laning, if there's any chance with a Global or a Rengar or an Evelynn or something like that, you just can't get away.
Certainly can't. And look how much damage Ryan is able to actually put into the spot lane as a result. One tower falls them down on a heartbeat. The second soon to follow. Hex Flash Bird.
Nice.
And the hook goes out. But Katsuri with enough speed and reactions to dodge out on that occasion. As Antic are just looking for picks at this stage, knowing that this game is far from over, but Direwolves are definitely rating their chances 20 minutes in.
Yeah, Direwolves definitely in with a shot. They've got the Cloud Soul opportunity, although not game winning. Still going to be very, very beneficial for them. There's a lot of champions that are like pressing their ult, like the extra move speed that it gives, but yeah, I mean, the problem right now is Cassante has 109 CS, Skimmy, and Ryoma is Flame Horizoning him. So if Azir is ever matched into this Cassante with a Frozen Heart, he will just melt.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rough. The top lane economy has been certainly ruined, as you can see, by the total gold mounts. They are essentially a glorified jungler at this point, based on that. As Traku says, look, I'm looking for a hook. And Enfys says, not today. One single command attack is enough to tell him to go back.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. That's a lot of damage. And is that a Blood Song on Blitzcrank? Seems like Blitzcrank has built Blood Song, so he's gone for that Sheen knock-up damage, the one shot. Maybe he would have preferred to have the crown active instead, so that he doesn't get chunked on wards, but who knows? River in a really good position. This is a great chance to punish. Look at the, oh my god, there's a 650 bounty on Azir. That is a huge kill. And if Lisa just makes his way down, they could use that advanced Cassante position to just ult him back towards his team, get the paranoia down, but Emphas a little bit too far away. Doesn't have TP to join this play, but yeah, River just such a good position, but might fizzle out into nothing.
Yeah, certainly seems to be the case, right? So much vision control by Antic, as well as their bodies being able to freely move between both mid and bot, makes it very difficult then for Lisa to try and snipe away that kill and then not get punished in the process too. So decides to hold on to it for the meantime, and maybe anticipating that it's not worth the risk. The opportunity cost would pass us up and mean that we can't go for our Dragon Soul, which is in 60 seconds. And worse still, if we lose that fight, then we may have to concede not only the Dragon, but the Baron too.
Yeah, River's going to start hitting some creeps, otherwise he's going to get the Lever Buster warning. I don't think he's caught a wave in about 2 minutes, so he's got to do that to avoid penalties. And Direwolf's in a little bit of trouble mid lane. The
Flash. Ooh, very close there, but the Summoner Heal, as well as the Ghost, he was moving like a drifter. He was boosting away to safety, not taking any chances on that occasion. Will that hamper their chances for this upcoming skirmish, though? The pressure from Antic is it's unrelenting. It's enough to try and keep forcing these out.
Yeah, River's top lane, but he is their only tool of checking bushes, so it looks like they're just going to be giving this Dragon because Katsuri, wow, he's just outside of that ward.
How's he not been revealed, hey?
Yeah. Well, it looks like they've pinged the ward, so they knew about it, so he must have just had the biggest brain and known the exact range of that ward and recalled on the edge of it, so we'll give him props, we'll give him the foresight. And yeah, Direwolves, I think, making the correct choice. Last game, they made this decision to walk into a Dragon that wasn't theirs, and it cost them the game. This time, they're being a lot more reserved, a lot smarter about it. They're kind of just holding back, allowing Zoranus to solo it, and River's more than happy to catch a few waves. And ooh, Shinky flashing away. Not sure if that hook would have hit him,
neither.
But yeah.
That seemed it seemed dicey though, to say the least.
It did.
So I don't blame him. No, absolutely not. Yeah. And what I'm seeing here from Zoranus is what I would assume to be the makings of a Titanic Hydra. So he's certainly working to be an absolute tank Varus. Despite falling further and further behind in this game, he wants to really be a bit of a menace. I suppose as much of a split push as you certainly can be.
River, there's a tower there, bud.
River is just going to walk into the mid lane, say it's a bit of a bait, because there's the shockwave as the paranoia comes out. Moonlight Vigil peppers them from afar. The Emperor's Device shoves them back in the redemption to make sure they lose nobody in the process. They've taken down two. A shutdown on Torioma. The hook back doesn't do much. And the Baron is on the menu.
Yeah, that's just the power of the combo, Skibby. You can't flash the Orianna ult when it's paired with the Nocturne, right? Because it just follows you. And yeah, so much damage. The Ophelia Assault as well coming in, and the carries are bursted. Most important, look at the flashes gone, Skimmy. There's both the flashes from the carries are gone. River should be okay mid. I mean, he is playing Cassante.
He should be okay, but we say that with bated breath. The shield coming out just in the nick of time there. I feel like I'm getting flashbacks to Udyr as he pops the turtle and deceives you of how squishy he may in fact look. But look, fantastic play there by Direwolves to find that pick.
Wow, I mean, I did not see this angle from River because I'm expecting to get Emperor's Divided, but it's actually, he's just drawing their attention away and allowing it to line up for the Lisa and the Empress Orianna Nocturne combo, and then the beautiful Katsuri ult as well following up, and they just melted, they're all gone.
It's positive signs. It certainly is positive signs here in this second game for the likes of Direwolves. I don't know what it is about them, but if this is a common trend, we might have to do the Fido special of just banking on a draw for every single matchup.
I mean, I didn't pick a draw in this game just because I thought they needed more time, but this is what I expect of Direwolves once they have some synergy together. There's the veteran names, there's the talented individuals, the sort of, what did Zoranus describe him, a psychopath top laner. Sometimes that's what you need to win. You just need that guy who has no fear, no emotions, goes forward and gets the job done.
Sure, it would be a case of that as well, as I was wrong in terms of the Titanic Hydra. It's the experimental Hexblade that actually gets picked up here by Zoranus as his second item rush. They're going to try and really contest the likes of Lisa when that ultimate is up and active. Obviously, we mentioned how valuable that Chain of Corruption was going to be. But it is Antic's now chance to try and defend after what felt like 10 minutes of them forcing their pressure, forcing the side lane. And looking to try and exert some macro with the Blitzcrank hook. It's Direwolf with the Baron that says we can do something different. River, though, surrounded by 5. We know that Cassante is a little bit broken, but not this much.
Yeah, this reminds me of the Bliss game where River was playing set and he was solo winning the game until he did something similar. Okay, Emphis gets the shockwave.
Yeah, the
Good
paranoia
damage.
never really used to try and, re-engage, more so to try and protect Emphis, who once again did have to burn that flash. The Blitzcrank tax is starting to add up.
But this is just such a big mistake from Direwolves. They have the Baron, and there are 3 inner towers available. You can really collect all of them with a Baron buff when you play against this team. If you look at the side of Antic, really, there's just the Azir that has sufficient wave clear to hold one wave. So whichever lane the Azir is not in, you can take the other 2. But that's all stifled, all gone now, all just wishy-washy because of River's mistake in the bot side jungle.
Exactly, yeah. After he fell on down, it made it very difficult then for the likes of Direwolves to continue their pressure and exert a strong gold lead from that Baron power plate. Those 30 seconds that remain on the buff will just fizzle out and seemingly accomplish nothing. But for the meantime, they do have a gold lead, and that is still a positive sign here, because the next dragon, the penultimate one for that Cloud Soul, is 90 seconds away.
Yeah, keep an eye on the cooldowns. No ultis right now for Emphis.
Okay, Draku, he's going to hit it with the Blood Song afterwards as the curtains come open. River's not there right now, TPing out after the fact, but this is a fight that Antic are actually losing. Draku and Swiper have jumped in, but they're losing the fight. The Moonlight Vigil tickles Ryoma as he shuffles to safety. Double found by Katsuri. Lisa looking for the kill, and assisted by River that takes his top lane opponent down with him. All-out mode is accomplished. Double summoners burnt by the Varus as Antic hold on.
What is River doing, man? Like, why? You're playing against the Varus, why did you just take him away and we'll go for the 1v1? It looked beautiful from Direwolves. They're still very happy with the outcome. Lots of flashes burnt from their side, but we saw the power of the Milio there. That engage looked spot on from Swiper, but as soon as the Milio comes out, the extra move speed, they just all walk away. And Drak misses
like
the hook. Very funny indeed, but yeah, beautiful engagement from Swiper, but it's just the Milio ult, the Milio healing, it's overwhelming. The Zoranus is not in the fight. King is just shooting his ultimate, which is hitting the tanks, and here, River, if you just keep running towards Azir, he has no flash, you can Q3, get the kill. Instead, he opts for Zoranus, who still has flash available here, and yeah, salvages at least 1 kill out of the play for Antic.
Certainly does salvage something, and take a quick stock check of just how strong Direwolves are right now. Katsuri, the king from last night. If it's not the Lucian, it'll be the Aphelios instead. He's now 6-1-2. And it may not be Season 10 Aphelios, but it certainly feels that way right now because he's putting out a ton of damage, and he's getting untouched in the process too. And Ryoma is going to try and do whatever he can to defend this mid-tier 2. That seems to be a done deal as it falls on down. Shockwave is ever too easy. The Emperor's Divide coming out to hit nothing. It's a preemptive one there from Ryoma, assuming that the engage would be on himself. But that is just not the case. King burns double summoners, dies at the same time. And Direwolves lose no one in their attempt.
What is Direwolves? What is Antic doing, Skimmy? They see an Ori ball there, and just every champion is walking through the choke with an Ori ball. You know what I mean? Just walk around. It's unsafe. Yeah, they should have put up a warning sign there, but at least they get away with just the 1 kill lost. And the top tower, I guess. Yeah, I'm just not sure what's happening there, what the call is for Antic. River.
Yeah, though. Look at this. Oh, he's missed the hook.
All good, all good. Gets away with the scare, but really, Cassante is a great champion of playing against Blitzcrank, right? With the unstoppable, preventing the hooks. What is Ryoma doing here? Just walk around. He's really egoing them and kind of bait King in. King's like, Ryoma can do it, so can I. Walks into the Ori ball, and he's kind of dead. And frankly, he also flashes after basically dying, so now he has no flash in the next fight. Going to be even harder for this Jhin to play the game, and you got to be favoring Direwolves from this position, Skimming.
You certainly do, which it feels bizarre given the amount of talent on the side of Antic, but it's unable to find success right now. I feel like they are certainly crippled by the fact that this Varus didn't blow open the laning phase like they would have assumed, so certainly a case of win lane, win game. But it hasn't worked out in that fashion. Very much reliant then on a hook from this Blitzcrank to land, and if not, a flash be burnt to make it easy for the fight to take place. Once again, that Nocturne Orianna combo locks in place too, but no killing blow this time. They turn it around with a 2-man route, and Swiper says, my time to lock you down with the Magnet Storm. The claims from Shinky is good. The hook hits nothing. They run from the curtain.
River?
And River is actually kiting in, nearly getting hit by that 4th shot.
Okay, Antic starting up the Baron. Very smart from Lisa. Snipes away the Rift Scuttler. But now he smites on cooldown. He has no flash, so this might just be gone, Skimmy.
Yeah, it certainly could be the case. Drake has to be really, really careful. 4-level difference between himself and the Orianna. They get in and do an absurd amount of damage to that Baron. They need to protect their members, though. They're cutting out the safety. And Direwolves, despite mirroring them in this positioning, never really threatening.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look at the replay, but I don't know what the logic is there from Direwolves. They know that 2 players don't have flash. They know that Varus doesn't have flash and King don't have flash, for sure. So those are your 2 targets. You just press R on them, you can't miss. Elisa in a little bit of trouble, greedy for the wave. This is why you should never farm waves as a jungler. So if you're watching, you're a Graves main, please stop taking our waves on the side lanes or you will get punished like Ryoma did.
Spoken like a true mid laner. We love that for you. As the Unstoppable comes out from River, dodging out once, sidestepping the route there from King, but then falling victim to the surroundings of 5 members collapsing once again. Is that part of the map? It just seems cursed.
Skimmy, as soon as we say the Direwolves are in a winning position, it's the cast the curse, it kicks in, they immediately start throwing, and yeah, it's a little bit hard now. You've got the Blitzcrank on the siege, which is exactly where he wants to be. Going to be so much easier for him to land the hooks when there's very little places to dodge for the members of Direwolves, and Antic not wasting any time, just sieging straight away. 2 players still down, might just have to be a give. Draku
flashing forward, flash response, though denying that as the shockwave nearly looked like it was enough to take him down in the process. And what's really speaking volumes to me is the certainty in which they made that Baron call to completely flip the tempo of this game.
Yeah, that's the maturity, the experience from Antic. Once you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And here, just press Nocturne ult on Varus or on Jhin. They've pressed it on maybe Azir. I'm not sure who you clicked on, but it looked like it just Blitzcrank. They just Orianna Nocturne ulted Blitzcrank, which is not the person you want to be hitting. And as soon as you've used that and all of the carries are full health, of course you're not winning this fight, right? There's 3 threats on the enemy team. There's the Varus, the Jhin, and the Azir. And yeah, you've got nothing left in the tank if you're Direwolves.
Certainly don't, and really is the battle of the 2 carries, the ones that I wanted to try at this point from the very start. This time the hook's on. Look how much damage a Bloodsong Blitzcrank can do. He gets the shutdown. Good guy Draku saying, sorry King, you won't be the king here today.
Okay, that was a lot of damage. Maybe this Bloodsong tech is something we should all take notes at home about. But finally he lands a hook. We've seen a lot of missed ones, but like you said, Skimmy, it's just takes one. It takes one to explode the game, and Orianna is the main wave clear tool here, right? So without the ball positioning, there's no Nocturne combo, there's no killing these minions, and the structures are going to start falling.
They certainly are, especially aided by the fact that they have a Baron buff, which has netted them so much gold. Still, though, it is dead even between these if you look at the scoreboard. But they have the 6 stacks of the void grubs. They find a hook, they get a kill, they make it even easier to set up that siege and deny that wave clear, which they are so desperately hunting for here. Direwolves. Rivers jumped in on his own again. It feels crazy at this stage as Katsuri's literally trying to win this game on his own. He's got the blue and red. He does so much damage, and he's tanking them all. They're so scared, Antic. They realize, oh, okay, we actually can't siege another wave.
Yeah, he's so good. Katsuri, really good clicks there, you know, just spacing out perfectly, not running away. Like he's ready to turn as soon as he sees the animation of the Rel Q miss and trying to min-max his damage. Really good play. He's fighting very hard to keep them in the game after some questionable decisions by his teammates.
Certainly is the case. 3 back-to-back Cloud Dragons, then even more rotational strength here for the side of Antic to boost around the map and find that next target. What is the game plan then for Direwolves? This game certainly felt like it was in their control, despite the top lane KDA not looking the prettiest. It certainly has been a case of who can add a little bit more impact to these fights. Will it be the Varus? Will it be the Cassante? To tell you what, these 2 mid laners have had a pretty stellar performance. Yes, Emphis only has 1 kill to his name, but these shockwaves have always found success.
Yeah, Emphis has been outstanding this game. You know, he hasn't taken many resources from his team. I don't think we've seen a mid gank once, right? He's just been very independent, doing his own thing. He's always in the right place at the right time. It just has to come down to Nocturne, Orianna ulting the guy with no flash. And right now, that guy is king. So I hope Direwolves is able to identify that, and we see that in the next fight.
See if that is the case then. Draco across the wall. Sneaky suspicion that Shinky would step up and greed for that final click onto that ward. But another turret just simply gets looked at and it falls over. 7-9 now. I mean, this map is becoming a little bit more bare, as really all that stands between them and a victory screen is that Nexus, as they work their way towards another inhibitor. Hex Flash constantly being threatened as the hook goes across. And credit to River, he tanks it up for the team.
Yeah, beautiful. That's what should have happened in the bot play before as well. He just needs to be very confident with his W timing. There's really no counterplay for Dragku. He's relying on River making a mistake. Another hook. Very, very close.
Incredibly close. It really is at this stage. And you're starting to get in your own head. You'd have to imagine as to what is our response now, because well, not really able to escape our base as freely as we'd have liked to. And, well, that next Baron is up in 40 seconds. And as we saw before, Antic, in the face of Direwolves, were able to sneak it away, really, in under 5 seconds.
And I think both teams could do that now, Skinny, because we look at it, it's just it's a game of 2 players. We've got Ryoma playing against Katsuri. They both have the 700 gold bounties and nearing the 6 items, full builds. So it really just comes down to positioning, decisiveness, and target selection for Direwolves.
It's all going to come down to positioning for those 2 star players as to whether or not they get the chance to showcase just how strong they are. Both having flash up and available is certainly the key. But what is your target if you're Lisa right now? Surely it would be King, but at the same time, you've got to try and shut this Azir down. He's so strong though. He's just picked up the Banshee's Van.
Wow.
And with the Zhonya's active as well. I mean, he's a living, breathing AP tank.
Yeah, he's 6 items, and that's the one way to counter this, right? You can Zhonya the Shockwave when the Nocturne is flying. Swiper in a little bit of trouble, trying to control that close mid bush. Dragku trading flashes.
He is the trading flashes right now with Shinky. Has to be a little bit more respectful in this one as that go to Shireen the soldiers and do a bucket load of damage. There goes to Chena Corruptions, another flash goes on through. Roma shuffling into the backline and immunes the ultimate out of Katsuri by going golden. The weak laning phase Varus picks up a double kill, and then Swiper pounces on the backline and locks down 2. Katsuri cannot do much more as River tries to assassinate just 1 target, and he can't find the low HP Blitzcrank.
They were so close. Skimmy Direwolves was so close to getting away with a 1-1 scoreline today. Looked really, really good at times, but it's just the same thing every game, Skimmy. Even the games that look close for Antic, the games that look losing, Ryoma and Azir shuffles forward, gets 2 or 3 people, and the game just ends.
That it certainly does. It was a much longer affair. Tell you what, Antic really had to work for this one. They probably are beating themselves up in the end, ultimately, but they do get the clean 2-0.